the 26th of August 2024. And today we've been across in Bendigo in north central Victoria at what was known as the Herald Sun Bush Summit. And this was held over the All Seasons in Bendigo there. And we had a number of presentations highlighting the bush and highlighting rural and regional issues, where we saw quite a number of speakers, a lot of the big people in media, a number of the people in politics, and many of the community members who, were talking about rural and regional issues. One of the main things that was talked about today, particularly from the crowd's point of view, was the renewable energy stuff that's going on throughout Western Victoria. A lot of people there who are trying to get their message through the politicians about the high voltage transmission lines that are going to be going across their land through the region, about a lot of the wind turbines, about a lot of the solar panels, and the catastrophic damage that's going to do throughout the regions and to a lot of people's farms. So there were a number of politicians there. There were people from the Liberal Party, people from the National Party, and also people from the Labor Party. And we also saw one and only Victorian Member of Parliament for Pauline Hanson's One Nation. So Ricky Lee Tyrrell was also here. So quite a diverse range of representatives and politicians, but the only ones that really got a chance to speak were the Labor Party politicians, the federal member for Bendigo here, and also the Victorian Premier, Jacinda Ardern. So what people got from the Labor Party politicians, and in particular the Premier, was not very satisfying. They were not very happy at all. And at one point, we heard, from both politicians about both the Labor Party ones, about the renewable energy and how it was going to give us so much cheaper electricity. And we look at what's happening on the ground with people's electricity prices, and we can see absolutely that we are not getting cheap electricity. But the Premier did make the point that Victoria was the cheapest in Australia, which is not really very comforting, given that Australia's electricity prices are amongst some of the highest in the world. It's sort of like being on the top deck of the Titanic, saying you've got the statement room on the Titanic, but we know where that ended up. So we're seeing the destruction of industry, agriculture, people's homes. They cannot afford electricity prices. The cost of living is blowing out of control. But we heard what a great place it is here, and about all the good jobs and how great it was, and the glass is not only half full, it's overflowing. So I think that the politicians here, the Premier, the federal member, are very, and it sounds so corny to say they're out of touch. They're not out of touch at all. In fact, they are in touch, make no mistake. So what we're finding, in my opinion, is that our politicians, the Labor Party, pretty well all the Labor Party, in fact, with the Greens, and I must say the Coalition too, are in the business of sending our country broke. The cost of living crisis is being deliberately made. The problems that people are facing is being deliberately made. And in terms of the renewable electricity grid, that's just an absolute load of crap. What they're doing is building a system that will fail. It's that simple. It cannot do what they say. We've said it before. We'll say it again. And we heard, people inside today say the same thing. It can't do it. It can't deliver the base loads. So when they turn up and try and paint everything as the glass is half full and everything's going good, no, it's not. It is absolutely not. And, we would expect our media to push this a lot harder, a hell of a lot harder, and call these politicians out, hold them to account. And, we're pretty disappointed that doesn't happen. But having said that, today I got an opportunity to talk to quite a number of the people in the media. So we've got some contacts there. and with a bit of luck, we might be able to get some airtime. You know, we've done a fair bit of work here today to try and make this happen, and we want to get our media to give people proper and decent and good information. That is absolutely critical, because we hear about things that in real terms have no bearing on whether you can eat food or whether you can pay your electricity bills, or in fact there is electricity enough to do what we need to do to live. So I did ask a few journalists if we can do an interview with them and actually interview them. However, not too keen at all, in fact. So we've got some contacts, and hopefully we can make something out of that. We know that the mainstream media, as a rule, don't push the hard-hitting, truthful stuff, and I've spoken about this a lot. But with a bit of luck, we might be able to get some of them on board. I'm not holding my breath of seeing what Channel 7 have done. But anyway, we've got a whole new heap of them here that we've spoken to today. We've also got many other community people who have spoken to today. So we're making contacts, and we've also spoken to a number of the farmers here who, I think, once you actually can sit down and talk with some of the people who might have different of opinion to us, I think that we soon find that if we do actually come together, then we can make some ground up, and we can do a lot of good. It's critical that happens. But I believe there were protests here today as well. A lot of the people who were here last Friday were also here protesting, putting up their placards and signs, and that's good. We need to keep that in the public eye. That needs to happen, and we need to be able to continue to put pressure on politicians because they just wreak havoc and then walk off and think nothing of it. Wipe their hands, pick up a big fat paycheck, and then off they go, leaving the destruction and rack and ruin behind them. And when we say destruction and rack and ruin, we're talking about our country, our families, our lives, our farms, houses, businesses and industry. So it's been a good day across here, and well done to have the country summit, where we see, the Herald Sun has put that on. Win News has been a part of putting it on. We've seen a number of the major sponsors, a number of people have come together to make this happen. And, there's going to be 6 of these around Australia, and this is the second one. Bendigo's the second one. So hopefully these things can actually do some good, and it gives people such as myself and Billboard Battalion an opportunity to talk, an opportunity to combine with these people, start to build networks, and hopefully do some good. We did see a lot of talking from many of the panelists and a lot of the presenters, but we need to have a lot more than that. It's all very well and good to say the glasses are full, but we need to speak the truth and reality. Unless we do that, the Australian people won't know what a terrible state of affairs our farmers are in, agriculture's in. We're seeing new things that the government are bringing out to wreck more farming, to put more problems in the way of our farmers, to make it harder and harder to survive. So these are a lot of the things that Billboard Battalion has been pushing. This is what we're going to continue to push. But, we've made some good contacts today, and hopefully some of that can help us in what we're doing in the fight to help save not only our farmers, but our families and our country. So she's a bit nippy at the minute. Wind's blowing fairly strong. Pretty overcast. Looks like we might get a bit more rain. So at that, I don't think there's much more to be said at this particular point about the conference here today. So we might wrap it up at that, and we'll come back again tomorrow and bring you some more updates on the other issues that are going around and what Billboard Battalion is up to. and hopefully, yeah, we can kick some goals here. We've got a few new contacts. We've got some new ideas. So we'll go ahead with that and see what we can do. All right.